encourage you this morning to turn to Matthew. It seems as if we have been studying revival. Well, it doesn't seem like it flat out. We have been studying revival. And God has begun to minister to me once again in the book of Matthew as I read it again. And what I find here in chapter 16 is a lot of things I have not found before. And we have been stuck there for a while, so what I'm going to do is jump you over into chapter 17. Yes, we're going right, moving right ahead now. We're jumping right now. I'm going to get you really blessed. We're going to jump into the middle of 17. Yeah, all right, somebody said, okay. Will you get blessed if I tell you it's verse 14? Yeah, see, you don't have to hear the first half. It reads like this. When they came to the crowd, a man approached Jesus and he knelt before him. The man looks at Jesus and he says, Lord, have mercy on my son. For he has seizures and he is suffering greatly, and he often falls into the fire or into the water, and I brought him to your disciples, but they could not heal him. O unbelieving and perverse generation, Jesus replies, how long shall I stay with you? How long shall I put up with you? Bring the boy to me. And Jesus rebuked the demon, and it came out of the boy, and he was healed from that moment. Then the disciples came to Jesus and in private and asked him, why could we not drive it out? And he looked at them, meaning Jesus looked at his 12, and he said, because you have so little faith. I tell you the truth, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Now, nothing will be impossible for you. And I got no amen. That's disturbing. Nothing will be impossible for you. Now, if you read it here in Matthew, you find the first thing that is missing for revival, for the revival of this young boy to the state that he was in originally, a healthy young man, a healthy child who has gotten to the place in reality where a demon has entered his body. This demon takes him and he throws him in the fire. This demon throws him in the water to try to drown him. They claim today that it was epilepsy. That's the best word that they could put in there for it, because the scriptures say that he would occasionally foam at the mouth, and that's the closest they can come for it. The reality of it is that there's no scientific term for he was demon-possessed. And a father comes to not 12 disciples, he comes to 9 disciples. Disciples who have already seen miracles. So I asked you this morning, how many of you have seen a miracle? Some of you are not raising your hands. How many of you have seen a newborn child? That's a miracle. Amen. Well, got this need to go a little bit farther left that path and say, isn't it a shame that our nation's going to kill those miracles? I come back on this. These 9 individuals, if you read in the other Gospels, it shows that they have already, at this time, they've already been sent out by Jesus to do miracles. So it's already been in the frame of mind. It's already a done deal that they have not just seen miracles, but that at some time in just a recent history, they have gone out into the public forum around Jerusalem, and they have touched people and healed them. Isn't that cool?
Amen.
And they've they've seen the blind see now, the deaf hear, the lame walk, the mute talk. We're talking full out, demon-possessed, all kinds of things are happening in the name of Jesus because they had the faith to do it. Now here we have 9 disciples with a simple case of demon possession. And this father walks up to them and says, "Would you please, can't you please help me and my son?" Now can you see these 9 disciples? They're screaming, they're praying. That didn't work. Let's put our other hands this way. And they pray some more. They put both hands on. They put the boy on the floor. And they all got their hands on him. They try lifting him up. And they pray. And nothing happens. And Jesus comes down the mountain. And he says, "Bring the boy to me." Can't believe you can do it. Read it. It's what it says. "How long must I stay with you?" Bring him to me. And Jesus casts out the demon. Instantly the boy is healed. And the boy and the father go away happy. Disciples take Jesus aside later that day. What happened? We used to do it. We had the power at one time. Why couldn't we do it? And Jesus looks now there's 12 of them, looks them in the eye and he says, "Oh, ye of little faith." Well, okay, let's look at what happened here preceding this so you set the ground for their faith. See, Jesus was with them and said, "Go." Jesus hadn't told them, "I'm leaving." But in between the time where they went and did stuff in the name of Jesus and what we're going to, where they're at now, in the middle of that time, Jesus came to them and said, "Look," it's chapter 16 if you don't remember, "Look, I'm going to be killed. The church is going to take me out. They're going to kill me. On the 3rd day I'll be raised up." They didn't understand all the fine print. What they heard was, the church is going to kill me. And I'm going to let it happen. And they became disillusioned up here, which led to disillusionment down here, which led to such a lack of faith that they lost their abilities to do anything for Jesus Christ. If we have lost our faith in who Jesus is, we will not ever see revival. If we have lost our faith in His ability to do miracles, Lord knows His church could use some miracles.
Amen.
We've got some folks that need some finances, something fierce, that have some jobs that need some jobs, something fierce that needs some healing, something fierce. I'm just curious. Is it because we know it here? Because we've heard it? But we've never allowed it to get here, so we haven't. Have we lost our faith in Jesus Christ? And I want you to notice above all this morning, I want you to notice, Jesus never called His disciples in this process, and in what's going on in this storyline. He never looked at them and said, "Go ye sinners." You see, it's not a matter of sin and heart sin. It's a matter of how strong is your faith. If you read the same scripture, the same story in Mark, and I believe it's in chapter 9, it ends just a little bit differently. But it leads us to another thought for revival. The first thought is, well, one, if our faith faith is not where it should be. You know, if we've allowed our faith to drift, and I don't mean that it's gone to something else, and I don't mean that we're sinning, I just mean maybe we're not as strong in our faith as we once were that we should be. I harp on you guys about this all the time, but where's your prayer life? You see, the thing that Mark remembered from all of this was, this kind can only come out through prayer. Do you just suppose that, just think with me, that sometimes there's only certain things that can happen and when God's people get serious in prayer?
Right.
Now I'm going to call you out. And I had it yesterday morning when I was pacing and praying and so on. I had to repent because I had become very lax in this. But we have 3 individuals that come every Tuesday evening. You guys know we have open prayer. Tuesday is the time for, specifically for church prayer, to pray for whatever God brings on our hearts about the church. We have 3 people who have been here almost every week. Your pastor's gotten lax in the last 6 months. You know, I'm tired. I was out o'clock some nights. I'd be out there on the floor. I'm just done. I don't want to come back in. Wouldn't it be something if God's people got serious in prayer? You see that? Even those amens is kind of bothering me. It's like, yeah, isn't that great?
Amen.
There we go. There's somebody who believes in prayer. You see, if there is no prayer, then nothing gets done. How many of you know the story where a certain young prophet goes up on a mountain, faces down a nation full of prophets of Baal? And he says, I tell you what, he says, I'll give you guys till 5 o'clock. And you build your altar, you put your sacrifice on it, you do whatever you want to do over there. It's it. All of you just have at it, man. And if nothing happens, then I'll build my altar over here. I'll put my sacrifice on it, and I'll pray to my God. And whoever's God wins, sends down the rain of fire, wins. The other guy dies. Pretty serious. Here's a young prophet willing to put his life on the line in that kind of manner. Before he even takes a step out on the field of battle, he says, look, I know. I gotta win. You guys know the story. They cut themselves, sing and dance, and cut and gash, and scream louder. And he's over here going, hey, yeah, yell a little louder. Maybe you'll hear you. Maybe he's sleeping. Maybe he's on the telephone. Who knows? But go ahead, have at it. His time comes, and he takes his time. He builds the altar right. He places the sacrifice on the altar. He soaks it down with water just to make it harder. Just to prove there's no hanky-panky. He prays. And God heard. Well, just another portion of that story that's really cool. Same prophet had said that 3 years prior to this that there'd be no rain except by his hand. After they had killed all the prophets, after the sacrifice is done, he walks up to the king. He hasn't even prayed yet. You see the faith before even the prayer goes out? Hasn't even prayed about the rain yet. He walks up to the king and he says, eat and feast and get ready to go, for I hear the sound of rain. And I think, wow, that's pretty bold. Hasn't even prayed yet. Doesn't know for sure God will work because, well, hey, you know, God's God and I'm not just me. And he goes over to the edge of the cliff. And a servant stands there beside him. He's kneeling. He's clear down. He's got his robe pulled up over him. He's just in serious prayer. He looks at his servant. He says, "Do you see a cloud?" I said, "No." He goes back to prayer. He says, "Do you see a cloud?" I said, "No." He goes back to prayer and he looks up and he says, "Well, yeah, I see a cloud, but it's only about as big as a fist, and it's way off in the distance." He jumps up, right? I love this part. This is so cool to me. He jumps up, he goes to the king, and he says, "The rains are coming. Perfect sky, blue Texas sky, except for way over Dallas somewhere, there's a fist-sized cloud." And he says, "The rains are coming." Now, the cool part for me is not in that the rain came, it's the fact that God empowered him then. I mean, it's cool what happened then. But he beat a set of horses and chariot down the mountain, across the plain, into Jezreel. How cool is that?
Amen.
Anybody here want to try out racing a horse? How about 2 horses? I didn't think so. And God's so empowered because of the faith and the prayer. When the 2 will come together, it is unstoppable.
Amen. Amen.
So I ask you again, have faith. Is it all it should be? Is it all it has been? Is it all it could be? How much prayer life? Are you making the extra effort? It's not just a normal effort. See, the reason I mentioned Tuesday night is because I can pray all the time. But Tuesday night's an extra effort. What God will do if His people in this church begin to pray. It's from 5 to 6. Doors open 4:30 for Miss Jean because she comes in a little early. It's because she's old and it takes her longer to pray. That's all right, she'll hurt me after a while.
Amen.
Yeah. But what would happen if just at 5 o'clock, even if you can't come here, if everybody would stop, even if it's just for 15 minutes? You got the kids, seriously, you want me to pray for 15 minutes? We're going to pray for 15 minutes, she falls out asleep. The pastor's put her to sleep. You guys hear Chuck, you're struggling, trying to stay awake. What would happen? I'm here to tell you, the more we pray, the more our faith increases. The more our faith increases, the more we pray.
Amen.
The more Jesus we have because of our faith in our prayers, the greater the revival will be. Remember, revival is not about outside. It's about us. It's about what kind of relationship you want with Christ. You want to be vital and passionate. Cold, dead. Can be what we want to be. But for revival, we must pray. And we must have faith. Stand with me, please, as the praise team comes this morning and we get ready to sing our last song. I do not know if anyone would like to come pray this morning, but as the praise team comes, if you'd like to come pray this morning, I encourage you to do so. Lord and Father God, we come to you this morning, personally knowing that my prayer life is not always what it should be. Personally knowing, Lord, that my faith is not always where it should be. Father God, for these weaknesses and for these times, we ask forgiveness. And we ask that you'll increase our strength. Lord, Father God, we still seek your face for an outpouring of the Holy Spirit upon the brethren of this church. Father God, brothers and sisters, truly, under the blood of Jesus Christ. Oh, Lord and Master, make it so. May you come. May you bring rejoicing.